What will you be using as a fig leaf today if you're a cultist? Is it oh yeah, oh you trust Dominic Cummings now, do you? So no, not at all. I trust the evidence, like I did when he was lying to you about Brexit, and I examined the evidence and realised he was lying about a lot of stuff. It's nothing to do with the colour of his scarf or the team that he plays for. I'm looking at the evidence now. I'm looking at dates. I'm looking at quotes. I'm playing you clips. I'm bringing receipts, and I'm asking, has he done it? Has he lied? And it's very, 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 very hard for me to see how anyone could now argue that he didn't. But if you want to, I'd love to hear it. But fig leaves? Yeah, we can't trust Cummings, or Boris done a great job. What about the vaccines? So I don't know if you noticed this. It started happening about 3 years ago. If I ask you a question about X, then your response, and social media has primed this, you must shout about Y. If I ask you a question about X that you don't like the answer to, just scream at me about Y or Z or even Q. See what I did there? That's the American equivalent. So I ask you a question about X. Do you think Matt Hancock is lying? Why don't you just shout at me about, I don't know, Diane Abbott or statues? Do you think do you think the Secretary of State for Health has been lying since the beginning of this outbreak to you? Yeah, well, the other lot want to pay reparations to people whose families were slaves. Yeah. Do you think the Secretary of State for Health has been lying to you while British people have been dying on an unprecedented level for peacetime? Why aren't you talking about diversity on Britain's Got Talent, O'Brien, you white-hating traitor? Do you think the Secretary of State for Health has been lying to you while your family members were ill and possibly perishing? I'll tell you what I'm very cross about, that National Trust publishing history of houses when I just want to go for some scones and some lapsang souchong. But that is how it works. And it used to be. I mean, I talk about it being something that's been fermented on social media, but it's government policy now. It's not just sort of weirdos with bulldog avatars on Twitter or your Auntie Doris's Facebook page where you get this. You get it at a ministerial level. It's probably part of the reason why Nadine Dorries has deleted her Twitter account, although quite a lot of you have pointed out to me it's more than likely she might have done that entirely by accident. It is. I'd like to know whether or not the Secretary of State for Health was lying. When are they going to open the pubs? What? I want to know whether the Secretary of State for Health was lying while people like John, who we spoke to yesterday, were burying their beloved daughter. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about why didn't you support Jeremy Corbyn? What? What do you reckon? Was he lying? Can anyone offer up a plausible defence?